What's up, everybody? This is Antonio here, bringing you another episode in the series of how many shares of a certain company do you need to own to make $1,000 a month, $100 a week. And in these episodes, I do go over the companies that you guys do provide. So if there's a company I haven't covered in the past or you don't see on the list, let me know. I'll be happy to add it. We'll eventually get to it. But in this episode, we will be going over FNILX, which we'll pull it up on Seeking Alpha. Look at the charts for it, and then look at the company profile or ETF, and then we'll actually pull up the dividend summary, look at the dividend performance for it, pull up the calculator, crunch the numbers to see how much of this company or how much money in total would you have to have invested to make $1,000 a month, $100 a month, and even $100 a week. And then we'll wrap up the video with looking at the dividend yield, showing us if currently is the best opportunity to enter the stock with the related to the dividend yield, or if it was in the past. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'll pull this up on Seeking Alpha. Alright guys, so we're here at Seeking Alpha, FNILX, Fidelity Zero Large Cap Index Fund Other. Currently trading about $16.60. Let me pull up the company profile for this. Alright, so here's the fund profile. So Fidelity Concord Street Trust Fidelity Zero Large Cap Index Fund is an open and equity indexed mutual fund launched and managed by Fidelity Management and Research Company LLC. It is co-managed by Geo Capital Management LLC. It invests in public equity markets of the United States. It invests in stocks of companies operating across diversified sectors. The fund invests in growth and value stocks of large cap companies. It seeks to track the performance of the Fidelity US Large Cap Index by using representative sampling techniques. Fidelity Concord Street Trust Fidelity Zero Large Cap Index Fund was formed on September 13th, 2018, and is domiciled in the United States. So pretty interesting fund here so far, just from the information there. It is a fund type. Fund type is a mutual fund. Issuer is Fidelity Investments. Inception was back in September 13th, 2018, and it's not showing anything for expense ratio. So if there's no expense ratio, that must mean it's very, very good, or I'm not sure why it's not showing it. But assets under management are a 7.15 billion, so pretty interesting there. Definitely interesting for me there. So I'm gonna have to do some more research, but let's go ahead and pull up the charts for it. Alright guys, so we're at the charts again. If we look at the year to date, we can kind of see their performance. So they're up by 24.34% in the green. On the 1 year, they are up by 24.44%. On the 5 year, they are up 95.29%, guys. Very, very awesome return there. 10 years right here, not going, because it only goes all the way till 2018 is when they were founded. But they did start, I guess if I go back to the max, they started back at a price of about $9 or so, so it's almost doubled. So pretty great to see that performance. 52-week range here is at 52-week low is at $13.20. 52-week high is $16.89. It's trading closer to the 52-week high. Again, here categories a large blend, and then if we look index fund, it is an index fund. Number of holdings is 520 holdings, and then net assets is 7.15 billion, and then zero expense ratio. So I guess that might be accurate. This might be an interesting fund that I might need to look into more. And then of course dividend yield is a 1.34%. so let me go ahead and pull up the dividend summary so we can kind of see more information on that. So if we look here, guys, I do have this in the dividend summary. We actually have the dividend yield as a 1.34%. So very, very low dividend yield here. Starting on the annual payout, they do pay out 22 cents per share or fund that you do own annually. It looks like they do pay annually. It's not showing anything for payout ratio. 5-year CAGR is insane, guys. 44.70%. that is very awesome. So I'm definitely gonna have to see if this is all accurate information so that I could potentially even start a position on this one, because this is looking very attractive. Dividend growth is 2 years is what it's showing. They do pay out annually on the frequency, so you'd get every year you'd get 22 cents per you know, ETF or mutual fund that you do own, and the 5-year CAGR is insane if that's correct. So very interesting fund here for me. Let's go ahead and pull up the calculator. We can start crunching some numbers, guys, and see how much of this company would you have to own. So the first one we want to do is let's figure out how much of this fund would you need to own to make $1,000 a month, which of course, again, they do only pay annually, so you'd only get paid once a year. So you'd have to distribute that evenly by 12 months. But the way you would calculate this is take $1,000 is what we want to make monthly. There's 12 months in a year, so you'd multiply it. So annually we need to make $12,000, and then if you take those $12,000 divided by the annual payout, which is 22 cents, this would actually give you the total number of shares that you'd have to own. So about 54,545 shares that you'd have to own to achieve this, and then you'd be roughly making about $1,000. But if you take these total number of shares, multiply it times the current share price, which is $16.60, this would give you about $905,454 that you'd have to have invested at the current share price right now, and you'd be roughly making about $1,000 a month. Again, of course, they would only pay out annually, but you'd have to manage that and distribute it out evenly every month. A quick way to calculate this is take the $12,000 divided by the dividend yield here, which is at 1.34%. So if we look at that, you'll see that we kind of get about $895,000. So rough estimate, quick way to calculate that. That's kind of how you get that. But again, if we look over here, guys, the next one is to actually make $100 a month. This one's typically a little bit more achievable because it does require a lot less capital. So let's go ahead and calculate that one. Take $100 we want to make every single month. There's 12 months in a year, so annually we need to make $1,200 divided by the annual payout. That's 22 cents. Again, there's also, you could actually take the previous answer from the one of $1,000 a month divided by 10, and that will give you the answer. But since we have the calculator and there might be some people that are interested in seeing the math behind, I'm gonna go ahead and just, you know, step you guys through it. Yeah, if this is the total number of shares you need to own, multiply it times the current share price, which is at $16.60, and you'll see that you'd have to roughly have about $90,545 invested at about $16.60, and you'd be roughly making $100 every single month. Of course, imagine the compounding rate on this if that is correct. So quick way to calculate this is take 1,200 divided by the dividend yield, which is at 1%, and you'll see we kind of get about $89,552 that you have to have invested, is a rough estimate there. Let's go ahead and do the last one, which is $100 every single week. So this one's pretty awesome. Imagine getting $100 every week. So we want to make $100 every week. There's 52 weeks in a year, so annually we need to make 5,200. Divide that by the annual payout, which is at 22 cents. You'd have to own about 23,636 shares. If you actually multiply that times the current share price, which is $16.60, you'd have to have invested about $392,363, and you'd be roughly making $100 every single week, guys, which is very awesome. Quick way to calculate this, take the 5,200 divided by the dividend yield, and you'll see we get roughly about $388,000. You know, it's a rough estimate there for doing it that way, but this is all you have to do, guys, to you know, do the math to figure out how much you have to own of these stocks or ETFs or mutual funds. But let's go ahead and wrap up this video by looking at the dividend yield, seeing if currently right now is the best opportunity to enter it. Alright guys, so we're here at the dividend yield. You'll see this is the dividend yield. It'll fluctuate over time. It's the past 5 years is what it's going to. So as you'll see, back in 2019, 2018, it had like a 0.4 1.42% dividend yield, and back in 2019, close to 2020, it started spiking up to a 1%, and then it's been staying around a 1%, you know, been going fluctuating a little bit less than a 1%, and then back in 2022, December 2022, it spiked up to like a 1.52 there, and you know, honestly, right now might be the best opportunity to enter it compared to the past 5 years. It's a pretty good entry point, especially if that 5-year CAGR is what it is. You know, definitely I'm interested. I'm gonna do some more research, and I'm gonna let you guys know if I start a position in it. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this mutual fund or fund, and then I would definitely love to know your opinions on it. And don't forget to subscribe with that notification. Help me reach that 20,000 subscriber mark. Definitely would appreciate it. As well, if you guys wouldn't mind, drop a big thumbs up on the video. It helps out the channel a lot. Definitely appreciate it. And let me know any other companies you guys want me to add to the list. I'll be happy to add them. We'll eventually get to them. And I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Stay safe out there. Bye, guys.